Introduction. Break your mental limits. Ever wonder why some people build empires while others can barely make it through the month, despite working just as hard? It's not luck. It's not privilege. It's not even education. It's mindset. Specifically, the billionaire mindset. Most people are programmed to think small. From childhood, society teaches you to stay safe, follow rules, get good grades, find a stable job, and survive. But billionaires? They play a completely different game. One where they rewrite the rules, bet on themselves, and create wealth, freedom, and legacy, not just money. This book is your invitation to that game. Inside these pages, you're not just going to read about success. You're going to unlearn everything holding you back and rebuild a mind built for abundance, power, and purpose. Here's why this book matters. It will teach you how to think in scale, not scarcity. It will help you stop trading time for money and start using leverage. It will show you how billionaires bounce back fast from failure. And most importantly, it will help you build a life around impact, not just income. If you're tired of playing small, feeling stuck, or wondering when your big break will come, this book will help you create it from the inside out. Read it slowly. Reread what hits you. Underline the lines that shake you. Because once your mind expands, you never go back. Before you start, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Get more powerful audiobooks that help you become 1% better every day. Chapter 1. Think 10x, not 10%. The journey to a billionaire mindset begins with a radical change in how you think about growth, success, and possibility. Most people operate in a world of small increments. They plan for 5% raises, 10% growth, or minor improvements that keep them comfortable but never truly break through barriers. But here's the truth. Thinking small is far more dangerous than failing big. When you think only in small steps, you limit your potential before you even start. You accept a life that is manageable but uninspired. You settle for goals that are within easy reach but won't challenge or excite you. This mindset traps you in mediocrity. Why thinking small is more dangerous than failing? Big, consider this. If you aim for a 10% improvement and you fall short, you end up with minimal or no progress at all. You don't push yourself, so your capacity never grows. The risks you take are small, so the rewards stay small too. Over time, this compound effect of tiny, safe bets results in a life that's far from extraordinary. On the other hand, when you think 10x, meaning 10 times bigger than what seems reasonable, you aim beyond your current limits. This may sound risky, even reckless, but here's what happens. You stretch your mind to see opportunities and solutions you never noticed before. You reject limiting beliefs that say, "This is too big for me." You become creative, resourceful, and resilient because the goal demands it. Even if you fail forward, learning lessons that small goals never teach. The biggest rewards in life come from bold risks and bold thinking. Failure is a side effect, but the bigger failure is never trying at all. The 10x rule psychology successful people live by. The concept of 10x thinking became famous through entrepreneur Grant Cardone's book, The 10x Rule. But it's not just a catchy phrase. It's a mindset deeply rooted in psychology and proven by countless successful people. At its core, the 10x rule means you set goals that are 10 times what you believe you can achieve and take actions that are 10 times what you think are necessary. This mindset eliminates average thinking and forces you to play at a higher level. Successful billionaires like Elon Musk, Oprah Winfrey, and Jeff Bezos embody this. They don't plan for modest growth. They envision revolutionizing entire industries. Their confidence isn't arrogance. It's based on the belief that exponential growth is possible because of how they approach problems and opportunities. Here are the key psychological principles behind 10x thinking. Abundance mentality. Instead of seeing limits, you see endless possibilities. Scarcity thinking says, there's only so much to go around. While abundance thinking says, the market is vast and I can create value in new ways. Massive action. You can't achieve 10x goals with average effort. You need relentless, focused action. This doesn't mean working blindly harder, but working smarter and more persistently. Embracing failure as feedback. When you set a 10x goal, setbacks are inevitable, but they're valuable data points, not reasons to quit. This mindset treats failure as a stepping stone, not a dead end. Vision over comfort. You prioritize the vision you want to create over the comfort zone you're leaving behind. This mental shift is critical because comfort kills growth. Mental exercises to rewire your thinking to exponential scale. Changing your mindset from incremental to exponential takes intentional mental work. Here are powerful exercises to reprogram your brain to think 10x, goal expansion. Exercise, take a goal you currently have. Maybe it's to increase your income by 10%. Now multiply it by 10. Write down what a 10x version of that goal looks like. Instead of $5,000, write $50,000. Instead of 1,000 customers, write $10,000. Then brainstorm what resources, skills, and actions you'd need to hit that number. This forces your brain to think beyond current limitations. Challenge your limits. Write down 3 beliefs you hold about yourself or your situation that feel like truths. For example, I can't start a business because I don't have experience. Now challenge these beliefs by asking, what if that wasn't true? Or what would I do if I had unlimited resources or knowledge? This simple exercise cracks open fixed mindsets. Visualize the extreme outcome. Spend 5 minutes daily imagining what your life looks like if you achieve your 10x goal. Feel the emotions. Imagine the challenges you overcame and see the impact you created. Visualization is a tool used by athletes, CEOs, and creators to build neural pathways toward success. Track massive action. For 1 week, write down all your actions toward your 10x goal. Are they average or massive? This awareness helps you increase the quantity and quality of your efforts. Failure journaling. When you encounter setbacks, write them down along with what you learned and how you'll adjust. This trains your brain to view failure as useful feedback. How to spot limited thinking. And crush. Limited thinking is subtle and sneaky. It creeps into your decisions disguised as realism or practicality. Here are some common signs, saying, I can't because, followed by excuses rather than solutions. Setting goals that feel safe or reasonable, not exciting or challenging, comparing yourself to others and feeling less than. Believing success is about luck, not strategy and mindset. Avoiding risks because failure feels unbearable. To crush limited thinking, start with awareness. When you notice these patterns, immediately ask yourself, is this belief based on evidence or fear? What would I do if failure wasn't an option? Who do I know that has done this or something bigger? What's the smallest step I can take toward my 10x goal today? Replace I can't with how can I? And watch your mindset shift. Real-world examples of 10x, thinking in action. Consider Jeff Bezos, who didn't start Amazon to be a small bookstore online. His vision was to build the everything store, dominating e-commerce globally. His goals were so massive that every decision was made with exponential growth in mind. This 10x vision pushed Amazon from a startup to a trillion-dollar company. Elon Musk didn't set out to create a slightly better car or a minor space exploration company. Tesla and SpaceX's goals were revolutionary: to accelerate sustainable energy and colonize Mars. This kind of thinking demands 10 times the effort, risk, and resilience. On a smaller scale, many entrepreneurs and professionals have changed their lives by applying 10x thinking, shifting from a paycheck mindset to a wealth creator mindset. The difference is not just in the numbers, but in how they see problems and opportunities. Summary: shift your mind, shift your life. The most critical skill to develop in your billionaire mindset is the ability to think bigger than you ever thought possible. This doesn't come naturally for most people because society rewards caution and small wins. But your potential lies in the space beyond comfort and convention. By adopting the 10x mindset, you free yourself from limiting beliefs, open doors to creativity and boldness, build resilience against failure, create a blueprint for massive action and exponential growth. This chapter isn't just theory, it's a call to action. Decide today to think 10 times bigger, work 10 times smarter, and refuse to settle for less than extraordinary. Your journey to a billionaire mindset starts here. The next chapters will build on this foundation, equipping you with the tools, habits, and strategies to turn these big thoughts into unstoppable results. Chapter 2. Own the game. If you want to develop a billionaire mindset, the second step is to stop playing by the rules written by others. Most people spend their entire lives following systems created for them. Whether that's the traditional education system, corporate ladders, or societal expectations. But if you want to break through to extraordinary success, you must own the game, not just play it. The game of wealth, power, and influence has been around for centuries, but it's always been controlled by a small group of people who wrote the rules to benefit themselves. These rules create artificial limits that keep the majority in a box, limiting creativity, freedom, and opportunity. The billionaire mindset rejects those limitations. Instead, it rewrites the rules, builds new systems, and creates opportunities where none existed before. Stop playing by others' rules. Why do most people accept rules they never questioned? Because it's easier. Rules offer a roadmap that feels safe and predictable. From childhood, you're taught to follow instructions. Get good grades, find a stable job, save money, and retire peacefully. These rules were made in an era when the world was stable, predictable, and hierarchical. But today's world is dynamic, fast-moving, and often chaotic. The old rules no longer apply. To own the game, you must first recognize which rules are holding you back. For example, the belief that you need a college degree to be successful has been challenged repeatedly by billionaires like Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, and Richard Branson, who dropped out or never attended college. Or the idea that you have to work 9 to 5 to earn a living. Many billionaires have built multiple income streams outside traditional hours. Owning the game means questioning every assumption that feels like a limit and being willing to break or bend the rules that don't serve your growth. It means designing your own path based on your vision, not someone else's checklist. How billionaires break the system and build their own billionaires aren't rule breakers for the sake of rebellion. They're creators of new systems that give them power and leverage. Instead of being trapped by existing structures, they innovate new models that shift entire industries. Take Elon Musk, for instance. When the automotive and aerospace industries had decades of slow innovation, Musk entered with a bold vision and created Tesla and SpaceX. These companies didn't just compete. They disrupted entire markets by rewriting the rules about what cars and rockets could be. Similarly, Jeff Bezos didn't just build an online bookstore. He transformed Amazon into an ecosystem that changed retail, cloud computing, and even media consumption. He created a system where the company's infrastructure could scale infinitely, breaking the old retail model. What these billionaires have in common is a willingness to challenge norms and build platforms, not just products. They design ecosystems that create massive value, influence, and competitive advantages. You don't need a billion-dollar company to start owning your game. You can begin by creating your own systems in your career, business, or personal brand. Whether it's automating repetitive tasks, creating unique content, or building a network of collaborators, the key is to think systemically. What can I create that outlasts me and keeps multiplying value? Becoming a producer, not just a consumer one. Of the most common reasons people remain stuck is because they're primarily consumers. They consume content, information, entertainment, and even advice, but rarely produce original value. A billionaire mindset flips this equation. Being a producer means you create value that others need and are willing to pay for. It means you're not just absorbing knowledge, but generating ideas, products, services, or influence that move the needle. Producers own the narrative, control the conversation, and build reputations that open doors. Look at social media influencers, entrepreneurs, or creators who have leveraged content production to build wealth and influence. By creating videos, writing articles, designing products, or launching services, they move from passive participants to active game owners. How can you start producing today? It might be as simple as sharing your unique insights on LinkedIn or blogging about your industry. Maybe you develop a side hustle that solves a problem you care about, or you create a digital product, course, or community. The key is consistent, deliberate production that builds your authority and assets. The more you produce, the more indispensable you become. Producers build leverage. Consumers spend their energy following trends. Producers set trends. Actionable strategies to become indispensable. In any industry owning, the game means being so valuable that your presence and contribution become indispensable. Here are concrete strategies to help you achieve that. Master a rare skill or niche. Specialization is power. Become the go-to expert in a field that few understand deeply. This creates demand for your unique knowledge and skills. Continuous learning and deep focus are critical. Build relationships with other producers. Networks of producers amplify value. Collaborate with people who create value, share knowledge, and push boundaries. These relationships create opportunities that can't be found through traditional channels. Create systems that scale your efforts. Automate repetitive tasks using technology. Develop processes that others can follow, freeing you to focus on high-impact activities. System thinking turns you from a bottleneck into a multiplier. Own your personal brand. Your reputation is your currency. Share your story, values, and expertise openly. Consistent branding makes you memorable and trustworthy, attracting opportunities organically. Solve problems before they're obvious. Pay attention to emerging trends and challenges in your industry. Anticipate needs and create solutions proactively. Being a visionary problem solver sets you apart. Leverage multiple income streams. Don't rely on one source of income. Build products, consulting, content, or investments that generate revenue independently. This diversifies risk and creates stability. Practice relentless execution. Ideas are worthless without action. Commit to consistent, high-quality work that moves you toward your goals. Ownership requires discipline. Changing your identity to own the game. Ultimately, owning the game is about identity. It's about seeing yourself as a creator, a leader, and a force of change rather than a follower or victim of circumstance. Shift your internal dialogue. Stop saying, "I'm just an employee," or "I don't have the resources." Start affirming, "I build systems, I create value, and I am indispensable." This identity shift aligns your thoughts, habits, and decisions with the mindset of someone who owns their game. It rewires your brain to act with authority and confidence, overcoming fear of rejection and failure. One of the biggest obstacles to owning the game is fear. Fear of rejection, failure, or looking foolish keeps many people trapped in following rules. Billionaires learn early that rejection is part of the process. It's feedback, not a verdict. You can't create new systems without challenging existing ones. You can't be a producer without putting your work out there and risking criticism. The billionaire mindset embraces these risks as necessary steps toward mastery. The power of ownership. Taking full responsibility. To own the game fully, you must take complete ownership of your life, actions, and results. No blaming the economy, your boss, or circumstances. Ownership means you control your response to every challenge and opportunity. This radical responsibility gives you freedom. It turns obstacles into puzzles you can solve rather than walls that stop you. Chapter 3. Time is not money. Leverage is from the earliest moments of life. We're taught the equation: time equals money. Work hard, put in your hours, and you will get paid. This thinking has permeated every corner of society, from parents giving career advice to employees clocking in daily at their jobs. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Trading your time directly for money is the mindset of the financially constrained. It's the game of scarcity, limitation, and ultimate burnout. If you want to adopt a billionaire mindset, you must completely reframe this belief. Time is not money. Leverage is. When you hear about billionaires, one of the most critical distinctions they embody is the mastery of leverage. Leverage is the ability to get more results with less effort. It's the secret weapon that multiplies income, influence, and impact far beyond what your personal time and energy alone could achieve. The fallacy of trading. Time for money. Let's break down why trading time for money is limiting. Imagine a typical employee who earns $20 per hour. No matter how many hours they put in, the ceiling remains. There are only 24 hours in a day, and working more than a certain number leads to exhaustion, health decline, and a poor work-life balance. This is a zero-sum game. This model works for survival, but never for true financial freedom. If your income depends on the number of hours you work, your earning potential is capped. You become a prisoner of your own clock, and worse, vulnerable to factors outside your control, like layoffs, sickness, or economic downturns. Contrast this with a billionaire entrepreneur who earns $20 million a year without working 1 million hours. The difference: they leverage systems, people, technology, and money to scale beyond their personal effort. They earn income in ways that are disconnected from their time. Types of leverage. Billionaires. Use billionaires don't just stumble into wealth. They engineer it by strategically leveraging 4 main assets: money, people, code, technology, and content. Understanding each type of leverage is essential to upgrade your mindset and tactics. Money as leverage money isn't just currency. It's a tool to acquire assets that generate more money. Billionaires use capital to invest in businesses, real estate, stocks, or startups that create recurring revenue or appreciate in value. Instead of saving money passively, they deploy it actively to make more money. People as leverage. Hiring talented people allows billionaires to multiply their efforts exponentially. When you delegate effectively, you free your time to focus on high-level strategy and growth. But here's the catch. Leveraging people isn't about dumping tasks on others. It's about inspiring, training, and empowering them to think and act like owners. Code and technology as leverage. In the digital age, software and automation are the ultimate multipliers. Whether it's apps, websites, algorithms, or AI, code runs 24/7 without fatigue or complaint. Many billionaires have built entire empires on tech platforms that automate sales, marketing, customer support, and even complex decision-making processes. Content as leverage content, be it books, videos, courses, or social media, has enormous power to build influence, authority, and passive income. Once created, content can reach millions globally, continuously generating value without additional effort. Think of authors, YouTubers, and online educators who build massive wealth by leveraging content that outlives them. Build once, earn forever. The magic of compounding leverage. One of the most exciting aspects of leverage is the compounding effect. Unlike trading time for money, where your income resets every hour, leverage allows you to build something once and reap its rewards repeatedly over time. Consider a software developer who creates an app. They spend months building it, but once it's launched, thousands of users download it daily, generating income every minute. Or an author who writes a best-selling book that sells for years, creating royalties that compound without further work. This build once, earn forever principle is where true financial freedom lies. It transforms your efforts from a treadmill to a snowball rolling downhill, gathering momentum and increasing in size without more input. Delegation versus abdication. The art of smart scaling. Delegation is a powerful form of leverage, but it must be done right. Many people confuse delegation with abdication, handing off work without clear guidance or accountability, which leads to chaos, mistakes, and frustration. Billionaires delegate with intention. They select the right people, provide clear expectations, empower autonomy, and maintain oversight. Delegation becomes leverage only when the person you delegate to has the skills, motivation, and resources to produce results independently. To delegate effectively, start by identifying tasks that do not require your unique skills or vision. These might be administrative work, routine customer service, or certain marketing functions. Then, train or hire the right people and create systems to monitor progress and quality. As you scale, delegation evolves into building leadership pipelines. Within your organization, people who can replicate your thinking and drive growth even when you're not present. This is how billionaires build companies and movements that transcend their personal time. Leveraging networks and relationships. Another often overlooked form of leverage is the power of networks and relationships. Billionaires understand that success is rarely a solo effort. Strategic relationships provide access to resources, knowledge, opportunities, and capital that would be impossible to achieve alone. By investing time in cultivating genuine, mutually beneficial relationships, you multiply your influence and reach. This can mean partnering with complementary businesses, finding mentors, or building communities where ideas and support flow freely. Leverage in relationships is not about transactional exchanges, but creating ecosystems where value is shared and grows organically. Mindset shifts to harness. Leverage. To fully embrace leverage, you need several key mindset shifts. Think long-term. Leverage requires patience and foresight. You must invest time, energy, and resources now to create systems that will pay off months or years later. Be comfortable with risk. Deploying leverage often involves uncertainty. For example, hiring people or investing money requires trust and calculated risk-taking. Focus on high-value activities. Leverage frees your time to focus on activities that only you can do. Vision, strategy, innovation, and relationship building. Embrace continuous learning. The tools and methods for leverage evolve rapidly, especially in technology. Stay curious and adaptable. Practical steps to start leveraging. Today, you don't have to be a billionaire to start leveraging your life right now. Here are actionable steps. Audit your time. Identify tasks that don't require your personal input and consider how to delegate or automate them. Invest in learning. Build skills in automation tools, team management, or financial literacy. Build digital assets. Start creating content that can grow your personal brand or business, like a blog, YouTube channel, or online course. Network actively. Connect with people who complement your skills and ambitions. Start small with investments. Even small amounts of money invested wisely can grow over time and teach you about financial leverage. Experiment with delegation. Try outsourcing tasks on platforms like Upwork or Fiverr to test how delegation works for you. The real value of time is what you do with it. Remember, the billionaire mindset isn't about avoiding work. It's about multiplying the value of the work you do. By mastering leverage, you gain more time, freedom, and impact. Your days become less about endless effort and more about meaningful creation. Time is finite, but leverage turns your limited hours into infinite possibilities. This principle is the cornerstone of sustained wealth and freedom. Chapter 4. Obsession is your superpower. Have you ever noticed how some people achieve what seems impossible? Turning ideas into empires, overcoming setbacks that would stop others in their tracks, and seemingly bending reality to their will. What's the secret? At the heart of these extraordinary achievements lies one undeniable force: obsession. If you've been told to just find balance in life, to don't work too hard, or to take it easy, you may have been given well-meaning advice but a limiting belief. Balance, while a comforting ideal, is often overrated in the realm of massive success. For billionaires and world changers, obsession isn't a flaw, it's their superpower. Why balance is overrated in mainstream culture. The idea of balance sounds ideal. Work hard, but rest equally. Spend time with family, but also focus on your career. Have hobbies, enjoy life, but keep productivity steady. Sounds great on paper, right? But if you study the world's richest and most successful people closely, you'll see a different story. They don't treat obsession like a problem to fix. They harness it as a catalyst for excellence. Balance is a myth for extraordinary creators because massive breakthroughs demand disproportionate focus and intensity. For example, Jeff Bezos spent years obsessively working on the early versions of Amazon, ignoring critics and personal life distractions. Elon Musk's obsession with space exploration and electric cars has led to sleepless nights and relentless work weeks for decades. Oprah Winfrey's singular focus on storytelling and connection built a media empire that changed millions of lives. The pursuit of balance often means dividing your time and energy evenly among all priorities. But the billionaire mindset understands the power of uneven focus, knowing when to pour 100% of your energy into one mission and when to step back strategically. The power of obsession. Obsession means more than just interest or enthusiasm. It's an all-consuming passion, a relentless drive to solve a problem or create something that matters. It's waking up thinking about your goals, working late because you're caught in a flow state, and feeling an inner fire that propels you forward even when others quit. Obsessed individuals see challenges as puzzles to be solved, failures as learning fuel, and long hours not as burdens, but as investments in their vision. This intense focus rewires their brain's reward system. The dopamine rush comes not from fleeting pleasures, but from progress and mastery. Psychologists studying peak performers call this flow state or deep work. Billionaires achieve flow through obsession. It's where creativity, productivity, and innovation skyrocket. But obsession isn't just about working harder, it's about working smarter and with heart. Stories of extreme obsession from the world's richest minds. Let's look at some real life stories that demonstrate the power of obsession. Steve Jobs. Jobs' obsession with product perfection was legendary. He scrutinized every detail, from the feel of the iPhone's glass to the fonts on the screen. His intensity alienated some colleagues but pushed Apple to revolutionize multiple industries. Jobs famously said, "Be a yardstick of quality." Some people aren't used to an environment where excellence is expected. Sarah Blakely. The founder of Spanx worked obsessively on her product idea for years, refining the fabric, design, and branding while selling door to door. She was obsessed with solving a real problem for women's comfort and confidence, leading her to become the youngest self-made female billionaire. Elon Musk. Known for his extreme work ethic, Musk has worked 100-plus-hour weeks on projects like Tesla and SpaceX. His obsession with making life multi-planetary fuels, his relentless pace, and refusal to accept good enough. J.K. Rowling. Before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon, Rowling was a single mother writing obsessively in cafes, facing rejection after rejection. Her obsession with the story and characters kept her going despite numerous setbacks. These stories illustrate a common thread. Obsession pushes people beyond comfort zones, fuels resilience, and transforms ideas into tangible success. Turning obsession into sustainable results. Obsession isn't just about working harder, it's about channeling your intense focus sustainably so you don't burn out or lose your way. Extreme intensity without balance can lead to fatigue, stress, and even failure. Here's how billionaires turn obsession into lasting success. Set clear, compelling goals. Obsession needs direction. When your goal is crystal clear and emotionally compelling, your focus deepens naturally. Billionaires often have a vivid vision that drives them, a mission bigger than money, something that inspires daily grit. Build rituals and habits. Obsessive focus is supported by habits that automate your work and reduce decision fatigue. Morning routines, scheduled deep work sessions, and regular review practices keep the obsession productive, not chaotic. Manage energy, not just time-obsessed. Individuals don't just track hours. They optimize energy levels. They know when they are most creative, focused, or energetic and schedule their biggest tasks accordingly. Rest and recovery become tools to sustain high-level obsession. Focus on incremental progress. Obsession isn't about giant leaps every day. It's about consistent small wins that compound. Billionaires obsess over improving just 1% daily. This relentless improvement builds unstoppable momentum. Stay curious and experiment. Obsessed minds aren't rigid. They experiment, pivot, and learn quickly. When one approach fails, they dig deeper, tweak strategies, and try again without losing passion. Protect your focus. In a world filled with distractions, obsession requires guarding your mental space fiercely. Billionaires use techniques like time blocking, digital detox, and saying no to anything that doesn't align with their mission. How to protect your focus in a noisy world. Obsession demands an environment conducive to deep concentration. But modern life is noisy. Social media, endless notifications, multitasking culture. Here's how to create a focus fortress. Control your inputs. Limit social media and news consumption. Follow only sources that add real value to your goals. Create sacred work time. Designate blocks of uninterrupted time. Use tools like Pomodoro, timers, or focus apps to resist distraction. Say no often. Saying no isn't just polite decline. It's an essential skill to protect your obsession. Prioritize ruthlessly. Declutter your space. A clean, organized workspace reduces mental clutter and supports focus. Practice mindfulness. Meditation or breathing exercises train your mind to return to focus quickly when distracted. Set boundaries. Communicate your working hours clearly to family, friends, and colleagues to minimize interruptions. The double-edged sword of obsession. Avoiding burnout. While obsession is powerful, it can become a liability if unchecked. Some people dive into obsessive work without rest, leading to exhaustion, anxiety, and broken relationships. The billionaire mindset includes self-awareness, recognizing when obsession becomes harmful and adjusting accordingly. Sustainable obsession means regularly checking in with your mental and physical health, scheduling deliberate rest and recreation, maintaining some social connection to recharge emotionally. Remembering that obsession fuels work, but life's richness also depends on joy, love, and fulfillment. Cultivating your own obsession. Not everyone is naturally obsessive, but obsession can be cultivated. Find your why. What truly excites or enrages you? What problem do you want to solve? Strong emotional reasons ignite obsession. Start small and deepen. Dive into one area deeply rather than spreading yourself thin. Create a vision board. Visual reminders of your goals. Keep your obsession vivid. Engage with like-minded people. Community fuels obsession by providing support and inspiration. Celebrate small wins. Reward yourself for progress to keep motivation high. Why obsession is the ultimate competitive advantage. In today's rapidly changing world, skill and knowledge are important but widely available. What sets billionaires apart is their relentless obsession with mastery, innovation, and impact. Obsession sharpens creativity, resilience, and execution power. It turns obstacles into opportunities and ideas into realities. When everyone else gives up or settles, the obsessed push forward. If you want to move beyond mediocrity and into a life of extraordinary success, it's time to reframe obsession from a potential flaw into your greatest asset. Chapter 5. Fail. Fast. Win faster. Have you ever been paralyzed by the fear of failure? Or hesitated so long before acting that opportunities slipped through your fingers? You're not alone. The fear of failing, of making mistakes, of losing money, or of being judged is one of the greatest barriers between where you are now and where you want to be. But here's the catch. Failure is not the enemy of success. It is its fuel. If you want to think and act like a billionaire, you must reprogram your mind to see failure not as a dead end, but as a stepping stone. The billionaires you admire didn't get there by avoiding failure. They embraced it, learned from it, and leveraged it to accelerate their wins. Why billionaires embrace failure? Like oxygen, the billionaire mindset isn't afraid of failure. It craves it. You might wonder, how can anyone crave failure? Because failure is the fastest, most reliable teacher in business and life. Take a look at some iconic examples. Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Edison's obsession with inventing the light bulb required relentless experimentation and learning from each failure. Elon Musk has been open about SpaceX's early rocket explosions, as and Tesla's production disasters. He says, "Failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you are not innovating enough." Sarah Blakely, founder of Spanx, faced dozens of rejections before landing her first big deal. She describes failure as a necessary ingredient for success. What these billionaires understand, and what this chapter will teach you, is that failure is oxygen for innovation and growth. Without failure, you're stuck in the comfort zone, playing it safe and limiting your potential. The psychology of failure. From fear to fuel fear. of failure is hardwired in our brains. Evolutionarily, avoiding failure protected us from danger. But in today's world, this instinct can trap you in analysis paralysis or cause you to quit prematurely. To overcome this, you need to reframe failure psychologically. Failure is data, not defeat. Each failure provides valuable information about what doesn't work. Treat it like an experiment with a result, not a judgment on your worth. Failure is temporary. It's a moment in time, not a permanent state. The sooner you accept failure, the quicker you can move forward. Failure builds resilience. Each failure strengthens your mental muscle to withstand setbacks and bounce back stronger. This mindset shift is critical. When you stop fearing failure and start welcoming it as feedback, your decision-making speeds up. You stop overthinking and start acting with courage. Build your failure muscle to recover faster, just like physical muscles grow stronger through resistance. Your ability to recover from failure, your failure muscle, gets stronger each time you face setbacks with the right mindset. How do you build this muscle? Start small and scale up. Begin by taking small risks where the cost of failure is manageable. This builds confidence and desensitizes you to fear. For example, launch a minimal version of your product, try a new marketing strategy, or pitch an idea to a small group. Reflect and learn quickly. Don't just fail. Fail fast. After a setback, immediately analyze what happened. Ask, what worked? What didn't? What can I change next time? This reflection turns failure into learning gold. Detach ego from outcome. Your self-worth isn't tied to your success or failure. Separate your identity from results. When you don't take failure personally, it becomes easier to bounce back. Practice consistent action. The more you act despite fear, the more your failure muscle strengthens. Action builds momentum, and momentum builds confidence. Seek feedback. Surround yourself with mentors, peers, or advisors who give honest feedback. This outside perspective accelerates your learning and helps avoid repeated mistakes. Speed of execution. Perfection. Many people get stuck chasing perfection. They want every detail polished before they launch, fearing any flaw will expose them as a failure. But the billionaire mindset flips this. Speed beats perfection every time. Why? Because in today's fast-moving world, ideas are only valuable when executed quickly and tested in the real market. Waiting for perfect conditions or a perfect product means missing out on crucial feedback and opportunities. Consider the story of Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg famously launched the platform with a very basic design. It wasn't perfect, but he got it into users' hands quickly and iterated based on real user feedback. Similarly, Amazon started as an online bookstore with a bare-bones website. Jeff Bezos focused on speed and customer feedback, expanding rapidly, rather than waiting for a flawless site. When you execute fast, you learn what works and what doesn't faster. You pivot or improve based on real data, not assumptions. You gain market traction while others are still hesitating. You build momentum that attracts resources, partners, and customers. Remember, perfect is the enemy of done. Real-world tools to test ideas, fail, and iterate. Failing fast isn't about reckless trial and error. It's about structured, smart experimentation. Here are practical tools and methods billionaires and top entrepreneurs use to fail fast and win faster. Minimum Viable Product, MVP. Develop the simplest version of your product that solves a problem and test it with real users. This reduces development time and cost while providing critical user feedback early. For example, Dropbox started with a simple video demo, explaining the concept before building the product. The feedback helped validate demand and improve the product design. A-B testing use A-B tests to compare two versions of a web page, email, or ad to see which performs better. This method allows you to make data-driven decisions quickly and improve conversion rates. Amazon and Netflix rely heavily on A-B testing to optimize user experience and product features constantly. Customer interviews and surveys talk directly to your customers or target audience to understand their pain points, desires, and reactions. Early-stage feedback helps you pivot before investing heavily. Successful entrepreneurs often spend hours interviewing customers to refine their product-market fit. Lean Startup Methodology. The Lean Startup approach encourages building, measuring, and learning in rapid cycles. The focus is on validated learning through continuous iteration, instead of guessing or planning for perfection. Fail-safe financial planning to fail fast without catastrophic loss. Keep your financial runway flexible. Use small budgets for experiments and reserve capital for pivots or scaling winners. Time-boxed experiments set strict time limits for testing an idea. For example, run a marketing campaign for 30 days, then review results. This prevents endless tweaking and forces quick decisions. Overcoming the emotional impact of failure. Failing fast is as much an emotional challenge as it is a strategic one. When a big idea doesn't pan out, the disappointment can sting deeply. Here's how to emotionally recover faster. Normalize failure. Remind yourself that every successful person has failed many times. Practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with kindness. Avoid harsh self-criticism. Reframe setbacks as progress. Each failure means you're learning and getting closer to success. Visualize success. Post-failure. Imagine how your persistence through failure will pay off. Celebrate effort, not just outcome. Recognize the courage to try as a win. Fail fast, win faster. A mindset for the long game. Embracing failure isn't just about short-term gains. It's about cultivating a mindset for lifelong success. Billionaires understand that. Each failure is a lesson that compounds over time. Rapid iteration allows you to discover breakthrough ideas sooner. Fear of failure is the biggest enemy of innovation. Resilience and adaptability, built through failure, are invaluable assets. This mindset transforms failure from a source of shame to a badge of honor, a sign that you're pushing boundaries and evolving. Action steps to start failing fast today. 2. Develop your fail fast, win faster mindset. Start with these practical actions. Identify one idea to test. Quickly pick one business idea, project, or skill you've been delaying. Set a timeline, 1 to 2 weeks, to launch a basic version or experiment. Set clear metrics. Define what success or failure looks like up front. It could be user signups, sales, feedback scores, or any measurable result. Collect feedback. Actively use surveys, interviews, or analytics to gather data immediately after launch. Reflect and adjust. Analyze what worked and what didn't. Make changes quickly and test again. Share your failures. Consider sharing your lessons learned publicly or with a peer group. This accountability accelerates learning and reduces stigma. The bottom line: fast failure is a secret weapon. The fastest way to billionaire-level success isn't avoiding failure, but leaning into it. Failure fuels innovation, sharpens resilience, and accelerates learning. When you reframe failure as a necessary and valuable part of your journey, you unleash your ability to act quickly, adapt, and win faster than your competition. Your new mindset: fail fast, learn fast, win faster. Chapter 6. Relationships over revenue. Have you ever wondered why some people, regardless of their talent or resources, seem to effortlessly attract opportunities, powerful allies, and game-changing partnerships? Why do billionaires, with their billionaires, vast empires and immense wealth, often talk about the quality of their relationships more than their bank balance? The truth is, in the race to financial success, your relationships, your network, often become your greatest asset, far beyond any revenue number on a balance sheet. This chapter will open your eyes to a crucial billionaire mindset shift. Relationships over revenue. Why relationships matter more than money. Money is important. It funds ventures, pays bills, and opens doors. But money alone cannot build empires or sustain success for decades. The people you surround yourself with, the mentors, partners, employees, advisors, and even competitors are the true fuel behind exponential growth. Consider this. Some of the richest billionaires in history, from Warren Buffett to Oprah Winfrey, credit much of their success not just to hard work, but to their ability to build authentic, long-lasting relationships. Why? Because opportunities flow through relationships. Deals, investments, joint ventures, insider knowledge, and key introductions rarely happen in isolation. They happen because someone trusted you or saw your value. Collaboration multiplies. Results. One smart partner can multiply your impact, resources, and reach in ways that working alone never could. Trust unlocks value. In business and life, trust accelerates decisions, reduces friction, and creates loyalty. Support systems boost resilience. When challenges arise, your relationships provide guidance, encouragement, and solutions. Your network is your real net worth. Your network is your net worth is a phrase you've probably heard, but its power is often underestimated. To think like a billionaire, you must understand that every connection you make holds potential currency. Here's what that means in practice: knowledge and wisdom. Your contacts bring fresh ideas, advice, and experience you might lack. Access and influence. Being connected to the right people opens doors to capital, clients, and markets that might otherwise be inaccessible. Opportunities, job offers, partnerships, and even business insights often come through trusted networks. But it's not just about collecting contacts or adding names on LinkedIn. The quality of your network matters more than quantity. Billionaires cultivate deep, meaningful relationships with people who uplift, challenge, and inspire them. How billionaires attract top-tier people into their circle, attracting high caliber individuals isn't about luck. It's a skill and a deliberate strategy. Here's how billionaires do it. They add real value. First, successful networkers don't approach relationships with a take mindset. They give first. They look for ways to help, advise, connect, or support others without expecting immediate returns. This generosity creates goodwill and trust. Over time, people become eager to reciprocate and collaborate because they've seen you bring value. For example, Richard Branson is known for connecting people, offering support, and sharing his platform before asking for anything in return. They are authenticity attracts authenticity. Billionaires show genuine interest in people beyond superficial exchanges. They listen deeply and remember details, which makes others feel seen and valued. People sense fake networking a mile away. Real connections require honesty, openness, and vulnerability. They build a reputation of integrity. Your word is your bond. Trustworthiness is the foundation of lasting relationships. Billionaires keep promises, respect confidentiality, and act ethically even when it's inconvenient. When your integrity is known, people naturally want to associate with you because they know you're reliable. They surround themselves with diverse thinkers. Rather than creating echo chambers, billionaires intentionally connect with people from different industries, backgrounds, and perspectives. This diversity sparks innovation and prevents tunnel vision. They maintain relationships consistently. Billionaires understand networking is a marathon, not a sprint. They nurture relationships regularly through check-ins, sharing helpful content, or simple acts of kindness. Consistency keeps relationships alive and primes them for collaboration when opportunities arise. The art of building long-term trust in a short-term world. We live in a world that often glorifies quick wins, viral moments, and instant gratification. But billionaires know that trust is the slow currency that pays the biggest dividends. Building long-term trust takes patience, consistency, and authenticity. Here's how to cultivate it. Deliver more than you promise. Under-promise and over-deliver is an old but gold rule. When people know they can count on you to exceed expectations, trust builds naturally. Be transparent and honest. Mistakes happen. When they do, owning up quickly and honestly builds credibility instead of damaging it. Respect others' time and boundaries. Showing respect by being punctual, clear, and mindful of people's limits strengthens trust. Keep confidentiality. Sacred, sensitive information must be protected. Betraying confidences destroys relationships irreparably. Show gratitude. Expressing genuine thanks and appreciation creates positive emotional bonds. Focus on mutual benefit. Trust flourishes when both parties feel they benefit and grow from the relationship. On collaboration, competition, why billionaires play to win. Together, many people see business as a zero-sum game. If you win, someone else loses. Billionaires think differently. They know a collaboration often produces exponentially better results than competition. Why? Collaboration combines strengths, skills, and resources for innovative solutions. Joint ventures reduce risks by sharing costs and knowledge. Partnerships increase reach, credibility, and market penetration. Cooperative environments foster creativity and learning. For instance, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak co-founded Apple by combining Jobs' vision with Wozniak's engineering skills. Neither could have achieved the same impact alone. In today's hyper-connected world, collaborative ecosystems, networks of startups, investors, experts, and customers drive the fastest growth. How to shift from a competitive to a collaborative mindset. If you're used to guarding your ideas, fearing competition, or working solo, this shift might feel uncomfortable, but is critical. Here are practical steps. Start small. Collaborate on low-risk projects or joint content to build confidence. Identify win-win opportunities. Look for partnerships where both parties clearly gain value. Focus on shared goals. Align on common missions or values rather than territorial battles. Celebrate others' wins. Genuinely rejoice in others' successes instead of feeling threatened. Learn from competitors. See them as sources of insight rather than enemies. Expand your circle. Connect with people outside your immediate industry or comfort zone. The power of mentorship and mastermind groups. No billionaire has made it entirely alone. Mentorship and peer groups play a crucial role in success. Mentors provide guidance, wisdom, and shortcuts from experience. Mastermind groups create accountability, fresh perspectives, and collective problem-solving. By actively seeking and nurturing these relationships, you accelerate growth and avoid common pitfalls. The digital era. Leveraging online relationships. Building relationships isn't limited to face-to-face anymore. Billionaires use social media, LinkedIn, online forums, and virtual events strategically to expand their network globally. However, digital networking requires genuine engagement, not just collecting followers. Providing value through content and conversations. Consistent interaction to deepen connections. Practical steps to build your billionaire network. Today, audit your current network. Make a list of your current contacts. Who are your closest allies? Who can you reconnect with? Identify gaps and opportunities. Define your networking goals. What types of people will help you grow? Mentors, investors, partners. Target those groups. Attend events and join communities. Participate in industry conferences, online groups, and local meetups. Be intentional about meeting new people. Create value before asking for it. Offer your skills, connections, or insights before requesting. Favors. Follow up consistently. Send thoughtful messages, share interesting articles, or congratulate contacts on milestones. Join or start a mastermind group. Gather like-minded people committed to growth and mutual support. Use social media thoughtfully. Share valuable content. Engage meaningfully and connect with influencers in your field. Common networking mistakes to avoid. Networking with a what's in it for me mindset. Focus on giving first. Trying to impress rather than connect. Be authentic and listen more than you talk. Neglecting relationships after initial contact. Follow up and nurture. Overloading your network with low-value contacts. Focus on quality over quantity. Ignoring diverse perspectives. Broaden your network beyond your immediate circle. The billionaire relationship. Formula to summarize, the billionaire approach to relationships can be distilled into a simple formula. Authenticity plus value plus consistency plus trust. Exponential growth. Chapter 7. Legacy over lifestyle. Imagine this. You've reached the pinnacle of financial success, millions or even billions in your bank account. Yet years later, when people remember you, it's not the size of your house, the luxury cars you owned, or the lavish parties you threw that define your legacy. Instead, they recall the impact you made on lives, the positive changes you inspired, and the meaningful contributions you left behind. This is the fundamental difference between a millionaire mindset and a billionaire mindset. While many chase wealth for lifestyle upgrades and fleeting pleasures, billionaires think in terms of legacy over lifestyle. They understand that true success transcends income. It's about creating something that lasts long after the money is gone. Why legacy matters more than lifestyle. The desire for a comfortable lifestyle is natural. Money can buy security, freedom, and joy. But the billionaire mindset is built on a higher plane of motivation, one rooted in infinite purpose rather than finite consumption. Consider the lives of iconic billionaires like Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, and Elon Musk. All are immensely wealthy, but their names are most associated with the legacies they're building. Bill Gates isn't just remembered as a Microsoft founder. He's reshaping global health through philanthropy. Warren Buffett focuses heavily on giving back and mentoring future generations. Elon Musk is known for pushing humanity towards space exploration and sustainable energy. Their wealth fuels their missions. It does not define them. The mindset of infinite purpose. Legacy-driven billionaires operate from what we call the infinite mindset. Unlike a finite mindset, which focuses on short-term wins and zero-sum games, the infinite mindset looks at the big picture. How can I create value that lasts beyond my lifetime? How can I improve the world systematically? What impact will my actions have on future generations? This mindset changes everything. Instead of asking, what can I buy with this money? The question becomes, what can I build, influence, or transform? The power of impact. Over-income focusing on impact over income leads to sustainable motivation and deeper fulfillment. Here's why. Sustainable drive. Material gains provide temporary pleasure, but impact fuels long-term passion. When you see the lives you touch, the communities you uplift, and the problems you solve, your purpose remains alive regardless of market fluctuations. Ripple effect. One act of impact can spark a chain reaction, influencing thousands or millions. Money spent on meaningful projects or social causes multiplies far beyond its original value. Resilience in failure. When your drive is anchored in legacy, temporary setbacks don't deter you. You see failure as a stepping stone toward a bigger mission. Generational influence legacy shapes not only your life, but also the values and opportunities for your children, community, and society. How to align your money with meaning. If you want to adopt the billionaire mindset of legacy over lifestyle, you need a clear plan to connect your wealth with meaningful impact. Here are practical steps. Define your core values and mission. Begin by asking yourself, what matters most to me beyond money? What causes or problems do I care about deeply? How do I want to be remembered? Write down your answers. These values become the foundation for your legacy-building efforts. Set impact goals. Alongside financial goals, just as you set targets for income, investments, and assets, create impact goals. How many lives do you want to touch? What specific change do you want to drive? What systems or industries do you want to influence? Make these goals measurable and time-bound to keep yourself accountable. Invest in projects with social return. Look beyond traditional ROI and consider social return on investment, SROI, the positive social, environmental, or cultural impact your investment creates. For example, funding education initiatives for underprivileged communities, supporting renewable energy startups, creating affordable healthcare solutions. These investments may not deliver immediate high financial returns, but they generate profound long-term value. 4. Build as institutions, not just businesses. Legacy is often rooted in strong institutions, organizations, foundations, or enterprises that can continue your mission long after you're gone. This means designing scalable business models, documenting processes and culture, training and empowering successors. Billionaire. Examples, lessons from those who built. Legacy looking at real-life examples helps us understand how billionaires prioritize legacy. Warren Buffett pledged over 99% of his wealth to charity through the Giving Pledge, inspiring other billionaires to commit large portions of their fortunes for global good. He views his wealth as a tool for societal progress, not just personal comfort. Oprah Winfrey. Oprah built a media empire, but consistently channels her resources into education, empowerment, and social reform. Her leadership foundation supports youth and marginalized groups, embodying legacy-driven wealth. Jeff Bezos. While controversial in some areas, Bezos has launched the Bezos Earth Fund, committing billions to fight climate change, understanding that planetary health is integral to future prosperity. Practical habits for building your legacy. Today, legacy is not built overnight. It's a daily practice that blends vision with action. Start with these habits. Daily reflection. Spend time each day reflecting on how your actions align with your purpose. Lifelong learning. Legacy builders never stop learning, growing, and adapting. Mentorship. Invest in mentoring younger generations. Your knowledge becomes a living legacy. Giving back. Allocate time, money, or resources to causes that matter to you. Storytelling. Share your vision and impact to inspire others. The role of time. Think long-term. Billionaires know that legacy building requires patience. Unlike lifestyle spending, which provides instant gratification, legacy projects may take years or decades to flourish. This long-term horizon shapes their decisions. They prioritize sustainable growth over short-term profits. They invest in education, research, and infrastructure. They prepare for succession, and continuity. By thinking generationally, they plant seeds that bloom far beyond their lifetime, overcoming the temptation of lifestyle. Inflation. Lifestyle inflation is the tendency to increase spending as income rises. For many, more money means more consumption, a bigger house, a faster car, luxury vacations. While these comforts are not inherently wrong, they can distract from legacy building. To avoid this trap, budget intentionally. Allocate a fixed percentage of income for legacy work. Practice gratitude. Focus on appreciating what you have instead of constantly wanting more. Simplify. Learn from billionaires like Mark Zuckerberg, who famously live relatively modestly despite massive wealth. Your legacy is also. Your influence legacy is not only about philanthropy or business. It's about influence, the ability to shape ideas, culture, and society. Consider, what beliefs and values do you model in your daily life? How do you inspire and lead others? What conversations do you spark that move society forward? Your legacy lives in the stories people tell about you and the positive change you help ignite. Aligning purpose with profit. One of the biggest myths is that impact and profit are mutually exclusive. In fact, many of the world's most successful billionaires have proven you can create massive wealth by solving real problems. Examples: Tesla profits by making sustainable energy and transportation desirable. Patagonia builds a billion-dollar brand around environmental stewardship. Salesforce has grown by embedding philanthropy into its business model. Aligning purpose with profit creates a virtuous cycle where financial success funds meaningful impact, which in turn drives more business success. Action plan. Craft your legacy. Blueprint. To conclude this chapter, here's a simple but powerful blueprint to get started on legacy building. Clarify your why. Write a personal mission statement focused on your impact goals. Audit your wealth. Assess how your current resources are being used and identify areas to align with your purpose. Identify legacy projects. Pick one or three causes or initiatives you want to prioritize. Set milestones. Define short, medium, and long-term impact goals with timelines. Engage stakeholders. Build a team or community that shares your vision. Create systems. Develop processes to ensure your legacy work continues sustainably. Review and adapt. Regularly revisit your blueprint to measure progress and make adjustments.